Hey guys, back with another educational video, and this week I want to talk about whether or not you can be healthy at any size. So this pops up from an interaction I had on Instagram with somebody who is a proponent of the health at every size movement. The conversation we basically had was her claiming that diets do not work, that it's irresponsible to have people diet, and that all it does is create disordered eating. Sometimes some of these movements start with really good intentions, and that can tend to get distorted over time by people who become too extreme with them. We see this in things like veganism, people who are proponents of the keto diet. People start and the basis of what they're doing is a good idea, but then they take it way too far in another direction. People are tribal and they tend to become very, I know I use this word a lot, zealot-like about things they're passionate about. That being said, do diets always fail? Is it irresponsible to promote dieting? I think this is kind of a case-by-case basis sort of thing. What I'll always tell people, and what I personally believe in my mantra, is that if somebody's happy and they're overweight, it's not my job to tell them that they need to diet. You can make an argument that, well, if they're unhealthy or they're obese, that's a burden on the healthcare system and that does affect us. I don't really know the numbers behind any of that stuff, and I kind of look at this on more of a personal basis. If somebody's overweight or obese, but they're happy and they don't have any desire to lose weight, then I would not try to say that they need to lose weight. That's up to them. But if somebody wants to get healthier, wants to lose some weight, and they're willing to approach it in a healthy manner, I think that's a great thing. But I'm not going to force them to do it. I'm not going to tell them they should do it. There is a lot of data showing that diets tend to not work insofar as people regain lost weight. Now, that doesn't mean diets don't work. If you get in a calorie deficit and you sustain that calorie deficit, you will lose weight. And if you practice good maintenance behaviors, you will keep it off. A lot of people throw around the number that 95% of diets fail. I've used this before. I have to go back and say that that's probably not an accurate statistic based on some of the most recent research that I've looked at. It depends on the statistics you use. It depends on what your metric is for losing weight and your metric for keeping it off. I will say a substantial amount of people who lose weight do put it back on, and a substantial amount of people end up weight cycling. That's because they are not creating healthy habits. If you create healthy habits, and good weight maintenance habits, that's not something you need to worry about, and you can lose weight and keep it off in the long term. I think one of the problems with the current diet culture we have is people feel like they need to be shredded in order to be healthy. That's not true. In fact, you don't even need to lose that much weight, even if you're overweight, to get most of the health benefits. If you're just worried about getting healthier, research shows that the vast majority of the health benefits of weight loss come within the first 10% of body weight lost. So if you're 500 pounds, if you lose around 50 pounds, you're going to get a lot of benefits just in that first 50 pounds of weight loss. What the health at every size movement started out as was an encouragement for people who, even though they were not at an ideal body weight or the body weight they wanted to be at, for them to still practice healthy behaviors. So healthy behaviors being minimize processed food, engage in regular exercise, limit stress, don't smoke, limit alcohol, those sorts of healthy habits. Because even if you're overweight or obese, there's no reason you can't engage in these healthy habits. But guess what happens when you tend to engage in healthy habits? You tend to lose weight. It was more of an encouragement to people to say, hey, you don't have to be thin, you don't have to be shredded in order to get the health benefits from this stuff. Just engage in healthy behaviors. And I think that's a really positive message. And I think that's a great part of the health at every size movement. However, when you have people who become very religious about going to the extreme end of a movement, that's where that message gets distorted when they say things like calorie deficits don't work, diets don't work, it's irresponsible to have people diet. It depends on how the diet is promoted or how the diet is shown to people. If you're showing somebody lifestyle interventions of how to make healthy behaviors, that's fine. But if you're a health at every size person and you're not encouraging people to exercise and you're not encouraging them to eat less processed food and you're not encouraging them to make healthy choices in terms of their overall lifestyle, then you don't even really belong in the health at every size movement because you're not encouraging health at every size. Can you be healthy as an overweight or obese person? Absolutely. If you engage in regular exercise, you eat right, and you lose probably just a little bit of weight, Yes. Is obesity not a risk factor for cardiovascular disease, cancer, some of these other preventable diseases? It absolutely is a risk factor. We can argue about how much of a risk factor it is, but the consensus among experts is that other than smoking, obesity is the major cause of most preventable diseases or non-communicable diseases. So for those of you watching this who are overweight or obese, that doesn't mean you have to get shredded. It doesn't mean you need to be thin. It just means you need to start making small, consistent changes to your lifestyle that you maintain throughout the course of your life, and you can become healthier. Again, I think the Health at Every Size initial recommendations of exercise, eat less processed food, engage in healthy behaviors, regardless of the weight you're at, great message. Taking it to the extreme and saying things like calorie deficits don't work and obesity is not a cause of any form of non-communicable disease or anything like that, that's actually not true, and it's not helpful, and it may actually keep some people from seeking help, or they may misinterpret the message and say, see, I don't need a diet. I can eat whatever I want. I'm still going to be healthy. That's not true. I hope this video has been helpful for you guys for clarifying some of the differences and some of the disagreements. If you have any questions, leave them below. If you want to learn more about healthy weight loss and healthy weight maintenance, you can check out some of the links below to our books like Fat Loss Forever and the Reverse Dieting Guide. And I think those can really help some of you guys. If not, then I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you next time.